Do you see Rayo getting in a fight with Gervonta now because of that win, because he got the title now? Do you see him moving up to 140 to get that title?
Why not? Why not?
Music to my ears.
Yeah,
I like
why,
that. Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
You know, a lot's been made about Pitbull and Tank. Would you like that fight against Tank?
Definitely. You know, Tank or all the other great champions and fighters there's out there.
Finally, Gervonta Tank Davis has safely arrived at getting an opponent for his next fight after several inconsistencies since his last fight against Frank Martin. And it's none other than the new World Boxing Association super lightweight champion, Jose Rayo Valenzuela, who's coming off a big win over Isaac Pitbull Cruz, the Mexican fighter who ended Gervonta Davis's 16-match knockout streak a few years ago.
Discussions are being had.
Yeah. What'd you make of Rayo?
Good fight.
Yeah?
Good fight.
Leonard Ellerby announced the fight, which is set to hold on November 2nd, 2024 in Las Vegas. The fight will be for Jose Rayo Valenzuela's World Boxing Association super lightweight title. While Isaac Pitbull Cruz has a rematch clause to fight Rayo Valenzuela, it is expected that a step-aside deal will be offered for Pitbull Cruz to fight the winner. Earlier, Gervonta Davis was greeted with a potential fight against Vasily Lomachenko after he defeated Frank Martin. And really, fans weren't so impressed with the matchup, seeing Vasily Lomachenko is now 36 years old and is evidently closer to his retirement than his prime.
I thought he boxed really, really good. I wasn't surprised at all.
Luckily, Vasily Lomachenko's team announced a cancellation, as Lomachenko decided to take a break for the rest of 2024. Next was Shakur Stevenson, another world champion in the same weight class as Gervonta Davis. Shakur Stevenson has been dying for a match against Gervonta Davis for some time now, but he's yet to get his desired matchup. Well, Shakur Stevenson locks horns with Joe Cordina next month, hence there's no possibility of seeing a Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson fight this year. This led him to settle for Jose Rayo Valenzuela.
He's a good pressure fighter, very entertaining, but he can be outboxed. He's got a good chin.
If fans were displeased with the news of Gervonta Davis facing Vasily Lomachenko, then what they felt for the fixture of Gervonta Tank Davis and Rayo Valenzuela must be discussed, as they've immediately voiced their displeasure. Wait and see, discussions are beginning to happen. He was then asked what he would make of a unification fight between Jose Rayo Valenzuela and Gervonta Davis. Ellerby responded, "Good fight, good fight. I thought he boxed really, really well." He then uttered a statement that didn't only spark a response from the interviewer, but also from the entire boxing world. He said,
"How'd you have it?"
I didn't really score it, but it was easy.
For you to, how
he
you were
made
saying
it look easy.
Pitbull is, with all due respect, a very good fighter, but kind of like one-dimensional. With all due respect, he's a good pressure fighter, very entertaining, but he can be outboxed. He's got a good chin, but he definitely can be outboxed. Furthermore, he was asked if he felt Jose Rayo Valenzuela won the fight outright, or if Isaac Pitbull Cruz made it a close and indecisive fight. He answered saying, "Outright. I didn't really score, but it was easy. He really made it look easy." I fully expected Raleigh to do that, but that didn't happen, and so, what Rayo did, props up to him and Robert Garcia. It was an outstanding fight, great game plan, just boxed the guy, turned him, made him miss and score. Then he was asked if he now sees Rayo Valenzuela going against Gervonta Tank Davis after the win, since he has a belt, and Gervonta Davis could go up to 140 and fight him for the belt. Why not? Why not? He's a good fighter. Why not?
I think I got Tank.
Why is that?
I got him by a bit. If he can be disciplined with his right hand, because us lefties, we tend to drop our left hand.
Curiously, the interviewer further asked if Tank Davis moving up to the 140-pound division means he stays there permanently or switches between 135 and 140 pounds at intervals. Not wanting to go too deep into weight class discussions, Leonard Ellerby said, "I don't want to get into weight classes and all that. We were talking about that fight," finishing it off by saying, "We have to wait and see."
A right hand a lot. If he can be disciplined, keep his right hand, and he don't get hit with that hook, I think he can end the night for Ryan. Because
interestingly, Rayo Valenzuela's team has always expressed interest in fighting Gervonta Davis, even before he faced Isaac Cruz. Jose Rayo Valenzuela was apoplectic when he was given the first results. After going 10 hard-fought rounds with Chris Colbert a few months prior, the 24-year-old believed he did more than enough to earn the victory. He was wrong. Valenzuela lashed out at Colbert, demanded a rematch, and refused to take no for an answer. His belly aching ultimately got him the sequel he believed he deserved.
Ryan, he also gets impatient with Luke Campbell and, jumping in with his head up straight.
This time around, he told the 3 judges sitting ringside to take a smoke break as he got rid of Colbert before the sound of the final bell. Before taking care of business, Valenzuela was given extra motivation to get the job done. With the World Boxing Association making their rematch a title eliminator, Valenzuela knew that a win would put him in the driver's seat for a showdown with Gervonta Davis.
But if he drops that right hand, Ryan got a lethal left hook.
Man, now that you mention it, he does put that right hand.
Immediately after decapitating Colbert, Valenzuela began putting pressure on the sanctioning body. The Mexican native is convinced that he's earned his spot with one of boxing's biggest stars and won't be summarily dismissed. Kenny Ellis, however, one of Davis's assistant trainers, cracked a smile while Valenzuela continued to call out his fighter. If Davis decides that Valenzuela is next, fans should expect a short and violent night. "I don't see him getting out of 3 rounds with Tank," said Ellis during an interview with Mill City Boxing. Normally, Davis doesn't play around with his food. Before closing the curtains on his 2023, the Baltimore native took out a pair of Garcias.
Tank, would you like that fight against Tank?
Definitely. Tank or all the other great champions.
Since ending their brazen trash talk, Davis has been seen going back and forth with Devin Haney. Presently, everything is fluid, meaning he's still in need of a dance partner. Valenzuela, considering his recent track record, is somewhat worthy of sharing the ring with Davis, according to Ellis. With that said, he has one glaring and obvious weakness that he must correct if he hopes to stand any chance with the pound-for-pound star. "Every time he engages, he makes a crucial mistake," explained Ellis.
So I think that would be a great fight. But I'm gonna try to get this fight with Tank.
Every time, not sometimes, every time he engages, Tank would get him in 3 rounds, if not less. And in Jose Rayo Valenzuela's last match, he did prove a point that he was more than a walkover for Gervonta Davis, as he defeated an opponent that gave Gervonta Tank Davis a very tough time. Tour de force, Isaac Cruz saw his meteoric rise come to a sudden crash Saturday night in Los Angeles, courtesy of Jose Valenzuela, as the swarming brawler met his match against a precise marksman. Cruz may have had the fans at BMO Stadium in his pocket throughout the night and landed the more eye-catching shots, but Valenzuela leveraged his footwork, movement, length, jab, and southpaw savvy to outbox and frustrate his counterpart for a career-best win. The 6-year pro Valenzuela was sharp as ever, managing space to showcase superior ring generalship. Valenzuela used Cruz's momentum against him all night, and he was awarded appropriately with a split decision. Judges scored the fight 116, 112, and 116. 112 for Valenzuela, while a third had it 115, 113 for Cruz. Valenzuela outlanded Cruz 171 to 118 in the 12-round contest. Cruz failed to defend the World Boxing Association junior welterweight title he won in March against Rolando Romero and saw a potential rematch against Gervonta Davis slip through his hands. Now Valenzuela looks like a legitimate candidate to face Davis instead, if a rematch against Cruz is not next. Cruz kicked off the fight with his trademark relentless pressure right from the onset, prowling on Rayo with a vicious combination attack. It looked pleasing to the eye, but Valenzuela was the more efficient fighter, connecting with 13 shots compared to 7 from Cruz. Cruz was much more successful in the second, battering Valenzuela in the corner with effective aggression, landing several shots to the body as well as to the head with a shoe-shine attack. Pitbull continued to control the pace in the third, but Valenzuela connected with several crisp counter uppercuts, again outlanding Cruz, this time 22-16 in the round. The 4th and 5th rounds were fairly even, but Valenzuela snapped Cruz's head with a clubbing right uppercut once again in the 6th. Valenzuela outworked Cruz in the 7th and 8th rounds, outlanding Cruz 31-14. Cruz had a bounce-back round in the 9th, even though it was momentarily halted by him landing a low blow. A left hook was the best punch Cruz landed in the round. Valenzuela rebounded in the 10th with a crisp 3-punch combination. Cruz, meanwhile, landed a fight-low 5 punches in the round. Cruz buzzed Valenzuela with perhaps his hardest shots of the night in the final 10 seconds of the 11th, but the bell sounded before he could do more damage. Cruz carried the newfound momentum into the final round and crushed Valenzuela with 2 more overhand right hands, but did not hurt him. The fans booed Valenzuela after the decision was announced, and Cruz called for a rematch. The fan favorite Cruz, 26, was riding a 4-fight winning streak since his 2021 loss to Davis. Valenzuela, 25, is now a world title holder for the first time in his career. It took footwork, guile, and a sturdy chin, but Jose Valenzuela was able to achieve his boxing dreams of becoming a world champion on Saturday, despite entering as a solid underdog against Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Valenzuela moved up to 140 pounds for the first time and relied on his advantages of 6 inches in height and 7 inches in reach to outbox Cruz over 12 rounds to capture the World Boxing Association Junior Welterweight Championship via split decision. 2 judges scored the bout 116, 112 for Valenzuela, while the third had it 115, 113 for Cruz in the co-main event of the Terrence Crawford-Israel Madrimov pay-per-view card from BMO Stadium in Los Angeles. I'm speechless. Dream come true," Valenzuela said. "This is not for me. This is for my mom and dad and for all of their sacrifices. This is to pay them back." Valenzuela, a 25-year-old southpaw from Los Mochis, Mexico, largely kept Cruz at distance by using his length and combination punching. He outlanded Cruz by a margin of 171 to 118, according to CompuBox. El Rayo also connected on 40% of his power shots and outlanded Cruz in 11 of 12 rounds, despite Cruz attempting more punches overall, 521 to 516, and winning the battle of the jabs, 63 to 37, in a close and competitive fight. A boxing legend who previously said Isaac Pitbull Cruz was the fighter who reminds him of himself the most was in the building. Mike Tyson made a public appearance, and he was looking good sitting ringside to watch Cruz lose his title. Tyson attended the fight alongside his wife, Lakiha Spicer. As Iron Mike watched, the judges scored the fight to give Valenzuela the split decision. But after the fight, Cruz was fuming and speaking directly to the WBA leaders to ask them if they could get a rematch ASAP. Clearly, Cruz thought he won that fight, and the fans seemed to be on his side. As soon as the decision was given, Cruz seemed bemused by not hearing his name, while Valenzuela celebrated dethroning the Pitbull. Everybody was rooting for him to win. There were many who wagered a lot of money in his favor, and he couldn't deliver. "I don't mean to say anything negative, but just take a listen to this crowd," Cruz said about the decision. "Just listen to this. I just like to do my job. I never make a decision on what the decision is. I just let the fans decide after I do my job." Cruz, a 26-year-old native of Mexico City, was the decided crowd favorite and entered the fight with plenty of momentum fresh off of his stoppage of Rolando Romero in March to win a world title. But he was forced to chase Valenzuela throughout and had trouble consistently getting inside. When the fight was over, Valenzuela said he had zero doubt his hand would get raised. "I was 100% sure. I was 100% sure," Valenzuela said. "The game plan was just to be smart. I didn't get desperate. I didn't fall under the pressure. I stayed calm." Cruz's power was cool, but nothing crazy and nothing I ever felt. It was good and solid. I felt great. I felt like I was in control the whole time using my jab and using my footwork. I felt like I was in control the whole time. Cruz, whose previous lone defeat came via close decision to Gervonta Davis in 2021, called for an immediate second chance against Valenzuela after the fight.
To be honest, I didn't pay too much attention to the crowd. I stayed focused. Felt like I was in control the whole time. I felt comfortable.
Speaking to the reporter onside the ring, Cruz said, "I want to ask Al Heyman and the WBA to please order a direct rematch against Valenzuela. I want a rematch. The public is the best judge, and they know exactly who won the fight tonight. A large part of the public cheered when Cruz spoke those words. I would like to definitely throw that down and ask for a rematch for sure.
Yeah, I felt good the whole way through. Just keep him at the end of my punches, you know. Fight smart, fight sharp. Don't get desperate. Don't fall into his game plan.
The win continued a stunning turnaround for Valenzuela, who suffered back-to-back defeats in 2022-23 at 135 pounds. Following a third-round knockout loss to Edwin de los Santos, Valenzuela dropped a unanimous decision to Chris Colbert. Valenzuela's fortunes changed in the December 2023 rematch with Colbert when he scored a spectacular sixth-round knockout victory. Following the win, Valenzuela moved up to 140 pounds to challenge for his first world title.
Because, you know, he's a one-dimensional fighter. He only knows how to do one thing. So, you know, that's what I did. Just stuck to the game plan. I felt like a little disrespectful.
He came through with a career-best performance, boxing with discipline against the hard-charging, ultra-popular Pitbull Cruz. I didn't get desperate, said Valenzuela, 25, who is trained by former champion Robert Garcia. I didn't fall under the pressure. I stayed calm. I felt great. I felt like I was in control the whole time with my jab, my footwork. Cruz entered the ring rated No. 4 by ESPN at junior welterweight. In his 140-pound debut, Cruz scored an 8th-round technical knockout victory over Rolly Romero in March to become a first-time champion. Cruz's defeat to Valenzuela is his first since a spirited decision loss to boxing star Gervonta Davis in December 2021. Cruz, 26, rattled off 5 consecutive victories afterward. Davis recently revealed that he has a new 6 to 7 fight deal that he claims will be bigger than the $200 million contract Mayweather signed with Showtime in 2013.
A very good fighter. Shakur is a very good fighter. Wish them the best of success in their next events and what they got moving forward.
The Al Heyman-managed Davis didn't offer additional details about his new agreement, but he said that Shakur Stevenson is listed as a future opponent. Trust me, Shakur is going to get that work, Ellerby told Boxing Scene. He's asking for it and he's going to get it. It ain't what he thinks it is. I can't wait for it to happen. I'm not putting a timetable on a Stevenson fight, but they come to Davis when you're the top dog. Tank has a hit list and a set of goals, and he's going to give it to whoever is considered the top guys and get them out of the way and ride off into the sunset.
Aren't the most, I guess, fan-pleasing cards, I guess, or main events.
Who are they fighting? I don't know anything about it.
Shakur is facing Frank Martin's last opponent, the bronze medal.
He isn't going to be sticking around, I can guarantee you that. I wouldn't call it early retirement, just getting through the hit list and walking away as a wealthy man at a young age. Once he wipes out the division, we will come to the conclusion that Tank is the best fighter in the entire world. Davis and World Boxing Council junior welterweight title holder Shakur Stevenson have been building up a potential super fight with extended sparring matches on social media in recent weeks.
And then Tio's fighting Steve. Sean, who's Tio fighting again? Tio's opponent. Steve Claggett. He apparently fought a guy that beat Matias.
Stevenson will be a free agent once his top-ranked contract comes to a conclusion following his July 6th fight against Artem Harutyunyan, and he's looking to leverage his freedom to land the legacy-defining fights he has been seeking. Stevenson, like Martin, is a southpaw, and it appears that Davis is getting a head start in preparing accordingly for the potential slugfest. Before Davis knocked out Ryan Garcia in April 2023, he also knocked out southpaw Hector Luis Garcia in January 2023. Another feasible fight for Davis is a scrap against former undisputed lightweight champion and current World Boxing Council junior welterweight title holder Devin Haney.
Now, and
4 rounds. Shakur Stevenson, look, they're not sent left, and he swears it's perfectly fine now.
Devin is one of the guys on Tank's list too, and it will happen when the time comes. I can't put a timetable on it, said Ellerby. I'm convinced that all these guys will get an opportunity at some point. None of these guys can mess with Tank Davis, and I will stand on that. A fight between Davis and Haney would likely require Haney to stay at 140 pounds for the foreseeable future.
If you're not only saying that you're the best and you're proving that you're the best, okay, we already know Tank's the best. You know, but at the end of the day, they got to figure all that stuff out. You know what I mean? Because here it is, you have a lightweight fight. They have a fight, and you guys, not you guys, but I'm saying. So
Ellerby insisted that Davis can still make 130 pounds, but for now, Davis's sole focus is on the 135-pound division as he looks to stave off the spoiler-minded Martin. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.